Hello, thank you for joining us on Nationwide, reaching you live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ruth Aguela. President Muhammadu Buhari is in Yokohama, Japan, ahead of the 7th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD-7. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president is attending the conference for the second time, having participated in TICAD-6 hosted by Kenya in Nairobi 2016.
Muhammadu Buhari, accompanied by the governors of Borno, Kwara and Lagos states, arrived Hanade International Airport, Japan at about 8 o'clock Monday evening local time. On hand to accord him a befitting welcome was a high-powered Japanese government delegation led by a special TICAD envoy, the Nigerian ambassador to Japan, Professor Muhammad Gana-Isa, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema. President Buhari is expected to join other Japanese and African leaders, international organizations, private companies, and civil society organizations at TICAD-7 to be hosted by Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. It has as its theme, Africa and Yokohama sharing passion for the future.
TICAD is about African development, collaborating with Japan. Therefore, if there's so much development deficit in Nigeria and we find a country like Japan wanting to help Africa, Nigeria should then just benefit from that kind of initiative. So it's very important for President Buhari to be here. In fact, I think any African leader who is not here is dealing his country a bad card.
He's expected to address the conference at plenary on Thursday.
Yes.
What will he be telling participants?
Well, first is going to review TICAD-6 and the advantages Nigeria has got, and then lay an agenda on the table on what can be done for Nigeria particularly during and after TICAD-7. So if you look at TICAD-6, 30 billion was advanced to Africa. And then there were some others apart from that, another 20 billion, another 500 billion and all that. So it's open for whichever country is interested.
Formed in 1993, TICAD provides an open forum that generates innovative discussions amongst various stakeholders on African development.
I'm more concerned about where I have comparative advantage, which is agriculture. And agriculture here is well advanced, and there is so much that we can tap to benefit our people back home. Well, right from the inception, we never objected to it. We already have a law in place, so where people are free to come and do their ranching, and we're also going to embrace the federal government program based on our law. So we are not rejecting it.
The Nigerian leader will also attend some side events and meet chief executive officers of some Japanese companies with huge investments in Nigeria. Since the Nairobi conference, otherwise called TICAD-6 in 2016, Japanese government and companies have been very active in supporting Nigeria's agriculture, healthcare, power supply, and youth empowerment. Here in Yokohama, President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to push for broader Japanese assistance in science and technology, innovation, human resource development, and other areas critical to the economy of the country. From Japan, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Let's talk economy now. Nigeria's economy has recorded consecutive growth in the last 4 years. However, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says security and revenue generation remains a challenge. The minister says to further grow the economy, in addition to focusing on the economic recovery and growth plan, linking budget with plans will be prioritized to mitigate infrastructure deficit. The minister made this known on Good Morning Nigeria, where she joined all the guests to set agenda for the economy. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Unlike other ministries unbundled, the ministry is saddled with more responsibility. This is because finance, budget and national planning is now under one purview. Zainab Ahmed says, though massive, the ministry has prepared adequately on steps in the next 4 years with specific targets and deliverables.
The borrowing level has reduced slightly, but when you look at the one that we're working on now, it is still further reduced. Our debt to revenue ratio is a very healthy one, but because revenues are underperforming, to the extent that 2018 revenue closed at 55%, we are under a very significant fiscal strain. So the directive of Mr. President is we must increase revenue and we must continue to reduce costs.
With foreign exchange rates moderated, Zainab also reiterated the need to maximize gains from oil through stronger fiscal and monetary alliance.
On the minimum wage, the federal government is implementing the minimum wage from August. But that is just the minimum wage. We're in the process of negotiating with labor on the consequential adjustment that needs to be put in place for the rest of the service.
For economic experts, the issue of population higher than GDP must be looked into. They also highlighted the need to urgently come up with medium and long-term plans that will address the prevailing demographics as the EIGP rounds up in 2020.
To encourage them to look at bioeconomy as a new economy that has to be put into the EIGP plan. That could give us $50 billion in the next 5 years.
As a developing economy, competing with other emerging economies, the only way we can structurally orient our economy to be competitive is for us to have or revert back to the culture of planning. Because planning enables you to set your priorities sector by sector.
They also called for the complete overhaul of public partnerships to attract more investors and grow the economy. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And from the economy to agriculture, the federal government says it will not hesitate to delist and prosecute any person or company found guilty of production and marketing of fake and substandard seeds to farmers. To this end, the National Agricultural Seeds Council of Nigeria has commenced sensitization of farmers and seeds merchants on relevant laws guiding seeds business in Nigeria. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari recently assented to a bill by the 8th Assembly on production and distribution of seeds in the country. The Seed Act gives room for private sector participation in the production, distribution and marketing of seeds and seedlings nationwide. Under the new law, any seed dealer that defaults in the standard of seeds or seedlings in the country risks 10 years imprisonment or pays 3 million naira as fine.
So we are out that there is in Nigeria's seed market, you should not see bad and adulterated seed again. So that farmers that go to the market to buy seed is sure that is obtaining quality seed for planting on his field.
The Seed Council of Nigeria is saddled with the responsibility of regulating seeds and seedlings and to ensure and eliminate adulterated seeds. It is in the light of this that the Council commenced sensitization of farmers and seed producers on the new law.
This sensitization exercise that is taking place now is a welcome development both to Nigeria, not only Nigeria, but West Africa.
The law is to sustain Nigeria's position as the largest producer and supplier of seeds across West African sub-region. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Let's go on a quick break. Nationwide continues shortly. Stay with us.
The Nigerian national flag is a sacred national symbol. It is a mark of patriotism and a show of love for our nation to fly the national flag correctly, in the right colors, right dimension, and in the right sizes for each occasion. In recent times, it has been noticed that government offices, corporate organizations, banks, embassies, and other notable institutions fly faded, shredded, and haggard-looking versions of the national flag. This is wrong and must stop. It has also been noticed that some citizens prefer to popularize the national flag of other nations. Fellow countrymen and women, let us be patriotic. Come, let us show love for our motherland. Fly the correct versions of our national flag in all relevant places. Be patriotic. Be proud ambassadors of our great country.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Get the latest news and updates from across Nigeria on NTA Nationwide. NTA Nationwide, weekdays by 4 p.m. Get it first. Get it fresh.
Thank you for staying tuned. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja this Monday dismisses a suit challenging the decision of the All Progressives Congress to adopt indirect primary for nominating its candidate for the forthcoming November 16, 2019 governorship election in Kogi State. The presiding judge, Justice Taiwo, who gave the ruling, upheld the preliminary objections filed by the APC challenging the suit. The court was of the opinion that the suit has been statute barred, hence the court lacked jurisdiction. Justice Taiwo also dismissed the suit against Abdullahi Bello-led Kogi State Executive Committee. As the World Water Week opens in Stockholm, Sweden, Chairman FCT Water Board Kashim Ali speaks on access to potable water.
I try to attribute cultural reason, because if you look at our settlement pattern in Nigeria, most settlements are around streams. People look for streams to settle around them so that they can have water. So the people eventually fetch water from the streams, and in the other places where there are no streams, people will look for places they can dig wells and have water, and in recent time boreholes also. But so that has created a very big problem. Today, the coverage for water supply, potable water supply in Nigeria is not up to, it's just in the region of 40%. That is not good enough after so many years of independence. So there's need, therefore, for a lot of investment, a lot more investment in water, because we shouldn't take it for granted that people can have access to stream water and all the rest, that should be enough. Certainly not enough.
That was Norlin speaking to the FCT Chairman Water Board in Abuja earlier on Panorama. Let's now go to Lagos, where Michael Lale is standing by for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Ruth, and welcome to Lagos. The 3 tiers of government in Lagos State have agreed to synergize for rapid economic growth and transformation. This was the resolution reached at the end of a 4-day retreat for cabinet members in Lagos State. Nosa Osula reports.
National leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, charged members of the newly inaugurated Lagos State Cabinet to see their appointment as an opportunity to serve the people of the state.
Bringing talented and very successful individuals from private sector and public sector together to come and address the cabinet is a very good idea. The shape of blueprint and what they get from it in terms of leadership and commitment to develop the state.
No ministry, no department of government can do anything on its own. Just as you've seen at the federal level, a 2-day retreat for ministers, something along those lines, which was always a tradition of the Lagos state government.
The national leader also described the retreat as a roadmap to success, noting that Lagos remains a key attraction for foreign investors because of the many success stories recorded in the states. In Lagos, Nusa Osula, NTA News.
Being relevant in today's world goes beyond the acquisition of academic qualifications. With technology deployed for various areas of human endeavors, it is imperative for aspiring young men and women to have additional skills to function optimally. It is on this premise that a strong advocacy for women to be in technology-related fields was made in Lagos. Dotun Ogunyemi tells us more.
A youth survey report published by the National Bureau of Statistics reveals that in Nigeria, young men are almost twice as likely to have a career in computer science and technology-related fields as women. The NBS report also shows that women make up an average of 22% of the total number of engineering and technology university graduates the country produces each year. Concerned by the widening gap in this male-dominated field, some women experts in technology and ICT are advocating sustenance in the development of the girl child, particularly in engineering, computer science, and of course, information communication technology.
And the essence of all this is to give them the confidence that they'll be able to do what they are supposed to do.
We're in a society that tells us that engineering or technology-related careers are really not for women. So young girls grow up with these ideas and probably do not get enrolled in those degrees.
I guess the biggest thing for me is confidence. When you say, one, I'm looking for this amount, I'm not afraid to say this is the amount I'm looking for, other things kind of fall into place.
I don't see any reason why it should be that number. I guess maybe people feel, okay, something guys should do. We need to change that mentality.
With women making up roughly a fifth of the total number of people working in the ICT sector, encouraging prospective female undergraduates to pursue courses that would enhance their technological capacity is seen as an attainable goal. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome back to Abuja. The Federal Ministry of Science and Technology has set in motion activities to drive the targets of its policies, which will be channeled towards ensuring that the objectives of the present administration to grow the economy, have a transparent administration and secure the nation are achieved. Dr. Obonnaya Onu and the Minister of State, Mohammed Abdullahi, in a meeting with supervising directors of the ministry and directors general of the agencies under it, rolled out this new policy thrust as contribution to nation building. The ministry, now lucky to have two ministers to oversee its affairs, they pointed out, underscores the focus of the federal government in terms of science, technology and innovation.
The focus of the federal government, I think, is to see how this ministry can drive the process of innovations and technology-driven economy. The world over, everyone knows it is technology that drives economies of most nation states. It is technology that drives the security and welfare of most nation states. So we are in a vantage position to leverage on this understanding and ensure that this ministry takes its rightful place in the Committee of Ministries.
The President also promised that we will be able to move 100 million people out of poverty in the next 10 years. This is a promise that the President made, and this is a promise that he will keep. And the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology will make very important contributions in ensuring that this promise is realized.
The ministers revealed that it was imperative for the ministry to exercise oversight in other ministries to ensure that there is harmonization, coordination, and a well-directed focus and energy to be championed by the ministry. In a bid to further strengthen security in Nigeria, expatriates have been mandated to make themselves available for e-registration within 6 months, sequel to the directive. Nigerian Immigration Service, Oyo State Command, is set to kickstart the e-registration in all local government areas of the state. Adebola Ogunlano reports.
According to the federal government of Nigeria, another way to deal with issues of insecurity in the country is to monitor the entering and leaving the country by proper registration of migrants. Sequel to the above, the Nigerian Immigration Service, or Oyo State Command, organized a meeting to educate the expatriates in the state on the importance of the e-registration and what it requires.
Any person who has attained the age of 18 years and he is not a citizen of Nigeria, or he is not otherwise exempted from compliance with registration and intends to reside in Nigeria for a period of exceeding 90 days. So these are the persons who are required to register for this e-registration.
It further said failure to comply will attract penalty, while only persons under the age of 18 are exempted. From Ibadan, Adebola Ogunlano, NTA News.
The process of reuniting the 133 voluntary repatriated refugees with their families has commenced in Yola. Bilkisu Abubakar reports that the Dowari Transit Center is a beehive of activities as counseling of the returnees is ongoing.
It is a great moment of pleasure and satisfaction to 133 returnees from Cameroon Republic who are now at transit center in Duare village of Jolasar local government area of Adamawa State.
Now we are feeling better. Everything we have it. We have security. The HCR of Nigeria, they help us with many things. We have room to sleep. Our children, all of them, they are playing. We are saying thank God.
The reintegration process have commenced as local government authorities and traditional rulers were involved in collaboration with humanitarian organizations to ease the exercise.
They've all been identified. The only thing is maybe there's one family, like for instance, a woman and some children, that is an indigene of Madagali, but she prefers to stay in Maiha. There are some few cases like this, but they've all been identified.
The returnees were provided with a befitting accommodation, healthcare services, security, among others, to ensure their welfare and security.
The UNHCR has provided some package, cash package, which has been given to them, and they are all looking forward to utilizing it effectively.
Preparation for the resettlement of the returnees is on top gear as they are expected to be reintegrated to their various communities within 7 days. In Yola, Bilkisu Abubakar.
Thank you, Bilkisu. Now, JGSG vaccinates children against meningitis. This and more you'll get with Zulay Mohammed in our Kaduna Network Center. Hello, Zulay.
Good evening and welcome to Kaduna. In line with the federal government directive, Jigawa State government has added the vaccination against meningitis into the routine immunization to fight childhood killer diseases. The state deputy governor, Alhaji Umar Namadi, flagged off the statewide exercise. Awal Muhammad Kazori reports.
The meningitis immunization was launched in Madobi village of Dusa local government 10 days after federal government launched the inclusion of meningitis as part of routine immunization. The state deputy governor Malam Umar Namadi said infant mortality has reduced from 183 per 1,000 births to 75 per 1,000 births. He said government has sponsored 60 students to China to study medicine. Also, provision of additional specialist hospitals, general hospitals, and primary health care centers.
Before, in Jigawa State, we have the base rate is about 275 per live birth. Today, it has been reduced to 193. And this is quite serious. And then we are doing it more. This is as of 2018. I'm telling you, with the launching of this vaccine again, I'm telling you, we'll reduce it less than 100. We have been challenged with immunization of such from time to time, leading to epidemics in the last few years. By having included this into the routine process, we are pretty sure that it's going to help alleviate suffering from this kind of disease, which kills easily.
Goodwill messages were delivered by development partners and traditional institutions. They described Jigawa State as a reference point in various health interventions. From Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
The inauguration of the multi-billion naira Zaria Regional Water Supply Project by President Muhammadu Buhari last Thursday brought relief to the residents after grappling with perennial water shortage for several years. Tina Toro in Zaria went on a post-inauguration visit and brings back this report.
Zaria and its environs have over the years grappled with acute water shortage, and efforts by successive administrations to tackle the problem did not yield the desired result. The inauguration of this multi-billion naira Zaria Regional Water Supply Expansion Project, executed by the Nasru Ahmed El-Rufai administration, puts to rest the suffering of the residents. Now the taps are running and the people are all smiles.
We are getting water all the time. To tell you the truth is that we are overexcited about this water project.
Ibrahim Sani, who is in his late 50s, says the last time he saw pipe-borne water was about 30 years ago. Same goes for 23-year Abdulaziz Muhammad, who said they depended solely on water vendors.
The past 30 years, we have not seen water in our house. But now, water is available everywhere, so we really appreciate.
Ibrahim, Abdulaziz, and other residents of Zaria are already basking in the euphoria of potable water supply. It is expected that residents of other local government areas in the northern part of Kaduna State will soon join in the excitement when the third phase of the water project is completed. In Zaria, Tina Turu, NTA News.
The 2019 Sergeant Majors Convention has ended in Kaduna. In the message to the event, Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Baratai asked officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army to exhibit high sense of professionalism and discipline in the discharge of their duties. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkum reports.
For 5 days, Army personnel of the rank of Regiment Sergeant Major converged on this auditorium for their annual regiment convention, which dwelled on professionalism and regimentation in the Nigerian Army. In a message to the closing ceremony, Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Baratai asked the participants to work towards instilling discipline and professionalism in young officers and soldiers in their various commands.
We want to see improvement in terms of professionalism and military regimentation in all our formations, units, barracks, cantonment, and offices.
There are many aspects that were mentioned that are directly personal to you, in your courage, in your seek for knowledge, in your competence, in your disposition, in your handling of cases, you as an individual. Those areas are not being doing right now, correct them.
Awards were presented to participants who distinguished themselves during the convention. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachiku, NTA News.
And that's our beat from here. It's back to Ruth in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Zulay. And from Kaduna, we go to Akure, where participants of the 2019 BMOS Summer Boot Camp, organized by the wife of the Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Akeredolu, have received laptops and other materials to complement the skills and capacity building acquired during the 3 weeks training. Mrs. Akeredolu charged the 250 girls to be champions to make good use of knowledge acquired. Olajide Bello has details.
Whatever has a beginning must have an end, and before gold is purified, it passes through fire. For these 250 girls, their skills have been sharpened in bead making, solar panel assembling, ICT training, and other vocations. The Be More Summer Camp is an initiative of the wife of the Ondo State Governor, Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, to reposition and chart a new course through productive engagement.
You talk about transformation of the society. It is the individuals that you transform.
self-power points where I was taught more on leadership and so on.
I can build a solar panel now, choose solar cell installations.
Among other take-home from the camp, the girls went through self-defense classes, which is the maiden edition, and laptops each. From Akure, Olajide, Bello, NTA News.
In a bid to provide digital life for all Nigerians, NTA Star Times is rewarding viewers who participated in the 2-month basic bouquet raffle draw with cash prize of 50,000 naira. Mamso Damien Dati was there and has details.
Alaba Aliu, a mother of 2 children and a resident of Abuja, has just received a surprise phone call from Star Times inviting her to come and claim a cash prize of 50,000 naira. Though finding it difficult to believe, all the same, she's here to verify. True, she meets other recipients who also got the surprise.
Stand up for the champions, for the champions.
I saw an advert on TV to recharge for 2 months. Then I did that. 2 pieces is coming up at least. So you go for that.
I received a call from their customer care in Lagos that I'm one of the lucky winners of 50,000 naira cash. I said, wow. I didn't believe it because we know what is going on in the country. And that is it. And here am I. The program is for kids, and so it has to go especially for them too. And I wish they should keep it up.
That is the reward awaiting subscribers who choose to use Star Times and participate in the ongoing 2-month bouquet raffle draw.
Once you recharge 2 month basic bouquet, you automatically qualify for the promo. This promo is meant for kiddie channels, so to encourage kids at home to watch our content, kiddie content, gym jam, and so on, so that within the period of the holiday, our kids at home will not be bored, so to say. Of course, for them to support their children's school fees, maybe, okay, some of them, maybe their kids are in boarding school. Of course, with 50,000 naira, at least you'll be able to do 1 or 2 things. And if you're lucky, you can win as many times as possible.
Other packages, including children's school packs, among other goodies, are awaiting to be won. Mamso Damien Ati, NTA News.
Congratulations to all the winners. And Dibabari is in our Port Harcourt Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Dibabari.
And welcome to Port Harcourt. River State Governor Nyesom Wike says the State Security Council will deploy more security personnel to the troubled Ogoni communities with a view to restoring peace. The governor was speaking after an on-the-spot assessment of damages caused by cult-related violence in Konobo-Way and Kerekebo-Way towns in Kana Council area. Ogedinyekuri has details.
Following security infractions in Kana Council area, Governor Wike led members of the State Security Council to see firsthand the level of devastation caused by the cult-related violence in the area. The once agrarian communities of Konobowe and Krekebowe have become ghosts of its former selves, as majority of the villagers have abandoned their homes and fled for safety.
This cultism has caused us a lot of setbacks. Whether we like it or not, it has set us back that it is difficult for us to even recover.
The governor was saddened by what he described as setback caused by activities of cultists in the various communities of the state. He tasked parents to watch the actions of their children, while promising that the state government will support families displaced by the cult-related violence. Chairman, Kana Council area, Late Lolo, and paramount ruler of Konobowe community, Chief Ezekiel Mason, said they are optimistic of the restoration of peace in the area with the governor's visits.
Because we've come here today, peace will definitely come back to this community.
The paramount ruler also commended the police for their quick response during the crisis. In Konobowe community, Ogedinyekuri, NTA News.
Management of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, says it has concluded the characterization of 20 complex oil polluted sites for the second phase of the remediation project in Ogoniland. Project coordinator Marvin Dekiu disclosed this in a media party in Port Harcourt. Robinson Trataide has the details.
The complex impacted sites are such areas where groundwater and the soil are contaminated. Marvin Dekiu indicated that HYPREP is already building biocell areas across the 20 sites even as procurement processes are ongoing for new companies to be mobilized for the remediation. He further cleared the air on the provision of potable water for communities with complex impacted sites as against to the entire Ogoni land being incinerated.
As of today, we have completed part of our evaluation activity to do with the batch 2 companies that will further join the 21 companies on site to carry out further remediation. We are also concluding the RFP, which is requesting proposal from the companies we've pre-qualified for water to begin to make submissions so that we can provide water in the community.
Marvin disclosed that the high technicality being deployed in the Ogoni cleanup will form the template for the effective cleanup of other contaminated parts of the Niger Delta region. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Terateide, NTA News.
The General Officer commanding 6th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Jamil Saraham, has inaugurated a renovated 10 numbers of one-bedroom flats intended to help ease off the accommodation challenge for officers below the rank of corporal. Again, Robinson Terateide reports that the structure was renovated by a public-spirited individual as part of his way of giving back to the society.
The building contains 10 numbers of flats, mainly for officers within the rank of corporal and below. The structure was renovated at the instance of a public-spirited individual, Ejovi Ogenegarem, to help ease the accommodation challenges of personnel of the Nigerian Army, given their contributions to the nation's security. GOC Nigerian Army 6th Division, Major General Jamil Saram, commended the initiative and urged officers to make good use of the structure.
No doubt, this project will go a long way in alleviating the challenges faced by troops and their families, and for that, we say a very big thank you.
Addressing the housing need of officers, according to the donor, will help motivate the military personnel to perform better in the Niger Delta region.
We need to appreciate the military for their good work in the southern region of Nigeria. So obviously we have to support them.
We feel happy because our building is fine now. But now, the building is fine. They have renovated it.
In Port Harcourt, Robinson Terateide, NTA News.
We'll take a short break now. The news will continue with Ruth in Abuja after the break. Good evening.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA. When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Thank you for staying tuned. In Nasarawa State, the Rice Revolution initiative by the federal government sustains remarkable progress by the farming communities for food security and economic development. From Lafia, Isa Mohammed reports that operationalizing processing of the commodity with modern technology to add value remains a challenge.
Rice production scale up with the incentives to farmers by government at the state and federal levels. There's also the Outgrower initiative by a private firm with a modern processing outfit in Doma, encouraging stakeholders on its drive to grow more rice under a 10,000 hectare target. Here lies the challenge because for many years the manual engagement by rice millers across areas in the state has remained without significant changes. It is the same process even though hundreds with division of labor are employed in the industry. Aware of the need to modernize operations for increased productivity and ensure value addition, the Nasarawa State government built a rice processing factory in Lafia and handed over to the millers. However, bad access road and funds for maintenance of the modern equipment as reasons for members turning their backs on the factory.
Because taking it out is also a problem. And steadily electricity. You see, we are using diesel, and it costs us a lot of money. So after we process and we calculated, we found out that the profit is just minimal.
As the Nasarawa State government takes industrialization a priority, it is expected the storyline of rice millers may change in no distant future to increase production capacity of processed rice from Nasarawa State. In Lafia, I am Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
The role of investigators and prosecutors in combating crimes and ensuring speedy justice delivery has again been on the spotlight as the National Judicial Institute organized a training with emphasis on interagency synergy in order to promote efficiency in the justice sector. The report.
It is often said that for a society to understand criminality and abate its wave, there is need for interrelationship between all parts of the criminal justice sector. To fully realize this in Nigeria, investigators and prosecutors, not only from the criminal justice sector, but also the military, paramilitary, and other agencies have been brought together by the National Judicial Institute to brainstorm and come up with strategies that will enhance output. Focus here is on cooperation between prosecutors and investigators to influence law enforcement in the reduction and prevention of crimes in the country.
A prosecutor relies absolutely on the information of the investigator, so they work hand in hand.
Nigerians will expect to see a new investigators and prosecutors to bring to justice those who are actually prone to crime, and also those who are innocent will be made to let loose from the hook.
It's important that all agencies involved in investigation and prosecution get to synergize and we share ideas and information.
With the theme, adhering to the rule of law in investigations and prosecutions, the 5-day training, which is the second in its series, is to ensure that agencies operate in accordance to rule of law to avoid unnecessary detention and to decongest the courts.
It's just 3 days to the APC party primaries for Kogi and Bayelsa states. Mayor Ogidi takes up Festus Okoye, the INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voter Education.
Before the end of this week, all the non-sensitive materials for the conduct of elections in Kogi and Bayelsa states will be in those states. And in relation to the sensitive materials, we are also working on the sensitive materials. And we are going to make sure that all the sensitive materials arrive all these states on time. For Kogi State, we are going to have and train at least 16,139 election officials for the conduct of the elections. And for Bayelsa, we are going to train nothing less than 10,063 election officers to conduct the elections in Bayelsa. And for Bayelsa State, you know that almost 5 of the local governments are riverine. So we are also making arrangements for the hiring of gunboats that will protect our election officials and our election materials on the high seas. We are going to transmit the results of the elections in Kogi and in Bayelsa states manually in accordance with the provisions of the law.
Institute of Peace and Good Governance Youth Training. You get this and other reports with Felicia Samaila and Jos. Hello, Felicia.
Hello, Ruth. Welcome to Jos. To curtail the increasing rate of violence in the society, youths have been advised to change the narrative by being vanguards of peace. These were the views of different stakeholders at the closing ceremony of a 7-day youth peace camp organized by the Institute of Governance and Social Research, IGSR, in collaboration with Citizens and Leadership Training Center, Mountain School, Sherry Hills, Jos. Ekemeren Kaneng Ladoja has details.
The youths are often caught up in the negative narrative of being perpetrators of violent acts within the country. To change this narrative on the plateau, 483 youths drawn from Plateau Central Senatorial Zone were brought together to be trained on how to become agents of peace.
They have to take steps to make tomorrow better today.
The need for youths and all Nigerians to see the pursuit for peace as a collective responsibility, education and employment for the seeming youth population were some of the ways identified by stakeholders that will curb violence.
And become a good ambassador of your different communities.
A lot of our youth have to be educated, especially on two concepts, cultism and sarasuka.
I urge all of us that there is nothing compared to peace, and that as we go today, we will not just practice what we have learned, but also teach others.
The course SH1143, which lasted for 7 days, trained the participants to be self-reliant and be peace ambassadors, as well as peer educators who will step down the skills acquired during the period of training. In Jos, Ekemeren Kaneng Ladoja, NTA News.
The Operation Safe Haven is assuring Plateau State and other areas of its jurisdiction that it is committed and determined to stamp out all forms of criminality and cult-related activities in the area. Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Augustine Agundu, stated this while parading 23 suspects caught in different crimes across the state. Kim Godds has the details.
On the security update within the joint operation areas, the suspects allegedly involved in armed robbery, cattle rustling, drug peddling, and cult-related activities were paraded. Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Augustine Agundu, expressed total commitment to eliminate criminality as stringent measures adopted led to achievements recorded.
2 thieves, namely Lawal Usman, Yusuf Mohammed, Buhari Adamu and Sanusi Abubakar at Hawan Kibo General Area in Viom, local government area of Plateau State. The suspects confessed to being involved in series of cattle theft and armed robberies within the same general area. They also confessed to dispossessing travelers of their valuables along the stretch of winding road between Forest and Hawan Kibo, approach to Jos.
With the increasing wave of cultism within Jos metropolis, Major General Agundu said members of cult groups have been arrested by the command.
On Truth also apprehended one Mr. Frank Opara, a suspected cultist who allegedly threatened to assassinate one Mr. Chinedu John at Busabuji in Jos North local government area.
2 locally fabricated pistols, 5 unused firearms cartridges, quantities of suspected cannabis sativa and illicit drugs were recovered from the suspects. In Jos, Kim Godds, NT News.
With the renewed vigor to boost agriculture and the favorable disposition of nature, the prospects of a bumper harvest seems to be evident this year in Plateau State. This captures the views of major players in the agricultural chain in the state. Caleb Gochin has the reports.
The state landscape looks lush and green, not with just any kind of vegetation, but crops planted by farmers with the expectation of a good yield.
We are keen into value addition by talking to the government to help in infrastructures, by creating roads and electricity so that we can have farm gate cottage industries.
The heavy rains, the experts say, are not without their challenges, as farmers are bound to experience some negative developments with some of the crops.
For example, maize, with the heavy rain, the stems will collapse or bend,
and there will be poor air circulation. It can also cause erosion of the soil, and with erosion, of course, the land, the farm is cut off, so the crops also go away along with it.
The passionate appeal is for government to provide the necessary facilities to add value to these crops when they are harvested. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
That does it from Jos. Ruth is back to you for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia, and welcome back to Abuja. Nigeria is spearheading adoption of common political, diplomatic and operational strategies for African countries to positively impact on the economy of the sub-region. Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, at the opening of Western Central Africa's sub-region in Abuja, feels that is the way to go.
Currency adjustments, congestion surcharge or war risk surcharge are maritime jargons referring to additional charge or payment which key players in the sector said has become a major challenge hindering the development of the maritime industry in African countries. Increase Uche is one of the participants from 13 West and Central African countries attending the Maritime Summit. He laments on how these problems have led to low trade among African countries.
There is no businessman that will encounter losses and still remain in business. So the impact is enormous.
It's also important that we come together in order to tackle this situation. If we don't, the spiraling cost of transport costs is threatening the national economies of our respective countries.
Presenting the Vice President's message, Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi charged African countries to unite in checking the trend, pointing out measures Nigerian government have put in place to address some of the challenges.
In 2018, the Nigerian Shippers Council harmonized the tariff nomenclature for local shipping charges in Nigeria, established a sustainable framework for future review of tariffs, and establish standards of service for all container terminals in Nigeria.
The summit is seen as a major step towards addressing the issue of surcharges in African seaports, as experts from the Global Shippers Forum and the Union of African Shippers Council brainstorm to come up with suggestions. Oyinna Kaloka, NTA News.
And on to sports, the International Tennis Federation announces dates for the 2019 Lagos Tennis Open Championship. Olumide Eguntola has this and latest results from the ongoing African Games in Morocco.
In basketball, Nigeria defeated Mali 21-20 to win the gold medal of the 3-on-3 women basketball event, while the male team beat Mali 2019 to win the bronze medal. In badminton, Team Nigeria beat Tunisia to win the gold medal in the mixed team event. Nigeria's male volleyball team recorded its first victory at the ongoing 2019 All-African Games in Rabat, Morocco. The team lost its first match to the host, Morocco, and came back stronger to beat Cape Verde 3-1 in the second match of the games played on Sunday.
To some extent, we had some improvement, and they are part of the things that led us to this victory.
My advice to the two teams is they should remain focused and don't take every match as it comes with every degree of seriousness, because there's no longer any greenhorns in this tournament.
The chairperson of the Nigerian Women Football League, Aisha Falode, has described the championship match played on Saturday as one of the reforms targeted at rebranding the league. She maintained that with the support of the media and sponsors, Nigeria Women League will soon make the desired impact at the global scene.
We also need to create more competitions for the women's game, which is why we introduced the Super 4, we also introduced the championship. Very soon, we are going to be introducing the first freestyle for the Nigeria Women's Football League. We have the ideas, we know what to do.
The International Tennis Federation, ITF, has announced October 7th